That's all we have here for today on Finding Equalman. Wait, let me do that again. Should I do that again?
Yeah, you're good.
Welcome to today's 7 Super Tips. I'm your host, Erik Qualman. A lot of you know me as Equalman. Today we have Tai Lopez. Now for those that don't know Tai, he is an entrepreneur and also an investor in over $20 million companies. So here are Tai's 7 Super Tips.
So yeah, I always say health, wealth, love, happiness, like kind of in that order. If you're not healthy, you won't care about anything. So I figured health is the trump card. And then the reason I put money second over love, it doesn't mean like you should try to get rich before love. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a classic kind of way to be happy, there's 5 levels to Maslow. So the bottom one is physiological or physical needs have to be met. Food, shelter, water. The second one is safety. You have to feel safe. The third one is love. And because if you don't have physical and safety right, you don't care about love. And if you don't believe me, look up the #1 reason people get divorced. It's financial issues. So I just figured money doesn't bring happiness, but the absence of money brings unhappiness. This has been proven all over and over. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize winner, he said, you know, if you make less than 72 grand in America, he's found your happiness suffers because your stress goes up. So I figure you don't have to be wealthy. When I say wealth, it doesn't necessarily mean like Forbes list. It means you have to have your physical needs met and you have to have a margin of safety, some money in the bank account. If every paycheck you're freaked out, your love life is going to suffer. And then the top 2 of Maslow's hierarchy of needs then become, you know, respect. And then the last one, the highest pinnacle, is like a higher purpose, or people call it spiritual. So health, wealth, and then love. And then if you get those 3, that's how you get happiness. Like happiness, there's so many books now about happiness. There's a good one called Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan Haidt. But at the core thing, to me, happiness is like soup. It's like if you make chicken noodle soup, but you forget the chicken, it's not chicken noodle soup. If you forget to put the broth in, it's just chicken and noodles. If you forget the noodles. So that's what I mean. Like happiness is a compilation of a whole bunch of stuff you do right.
When you look at success, it's generally around the intangibles. If you are smart, if you are at London Business School or in a top school, you will be surrounded by people on paper who are your peers. You will only stand out with the intangibles. So the 2 intangibles that seem to be correlated with success. One is a sense of urgency. You know, life is very short. I see people going, oh, I'm 22, I only have, I have all the world in front of me. You don't. First of all, tomorrow's not guaranteed, but more importantly, the age with which people are starting to become entrepreneurs. I read there's a kid, he made a nuclear power plant in San Francisco. He's 17 years old. That's your new competitor. So increase your sense of urgency as an intangible.
I want you to be someone who goes, well, I want to pass on a vision of something. I need to practice. Remember, before the day comes, you got to practice. You cannot be standing at the free throw line playing professional basketball in the 7th game of the NBA championship and to hope right then you're going to be practiced. Practice is too late. Larry Bird used to, the great basketball player, he used to shoot, 1,000 free throws. 8 in the morning. My friend Adon Ravine trains a lot of the pro basketball players. LeBron James, he trains Durant, Kobe, Chris Paul. And he says these guys are up when everybody else is sleeping, they're practicing. So everything you want is going to entail a good bit of practice. We live in a society that's very narcissistic. You're told like, oh, everybody's a winner. No, not everybody's a winner. That's like saying everybody's blonde. There's a definition of what blonde is. Blonde is like this yellowish hair. So you lose meaning when you start going, everybody's blonde. Well, everybody doesn't win. And the sooner you wake up to that biology is ruthless, man, then you get a little fear in you. And when you get a little fear in you, You start listening. Because if you're truly afraid, you listen. Let a little fear come in and drive you and motivate you.
The number one thing that I learned that you can learn that will change your life, you have to know what motivates you. And it's different for different people. You might not care about cars. You know, you might like travel or freedom from a 9-to-5 job. Whatever your thing is, find out your mix. I wish the school system had taught us this. You know, we learn so many things that we don't need in school. You learn isosceles triangles and the history of Mesopotamia, but what about how to be productive, overcome procrastination, figure out what motivates you? For me, it's a mix of a little bit of materialistic things, some non-materialistic things like freedom and travel, ability to help other people, help my family, help charities. That mix gets me out of bed every day, and you got to know yours. Increase your courage. Harden up a little bit. Take a cold shower. Don't always take a warm shower. Acclimate your mind and your body to doing things that are harder. You know, one of my friends who's one of the most successful people in a young startup, but made $1 billion valuation on a company in 5 years. Whenever we're talking about new ideas we're going to do next, if I say, oh, that's going to be easy, why don't we do that? He says, Tai, there's no money in what's easy. Focus on these intangibles, you know, the ability to have a ton of courage.
Steve Jobs said he didn't want to be the richest man in the graveyard. You know, do you want to be the richest man in the graveyard? I want to be the happiest man on the way to the graveyard. And some of that, you have to postpone pleasure. A good investor is somebody who postpones present pleasure for future gain. And you can do that. You work hard in the day. Some stuff's a pain in the butt. I built lots of businesses. I know what it is to be an entrepreneur. I'm saying I know that chess move, and what I'm telling you is 2 chess moves past that chess move. Optimizing your life for hustling and grinding is like optimizing your life around going pee. No, pee is something you have to do. It's not the goal. You don't go, woo! You know, my goal is hit the toilet 7 times a day. No, but you have to do it to survive. So grinding and working hard and hustling is not what you optimize for. It's pain. Why would you optimize for pain? But it is a necessity. And if you look at an actual scientific explanation of what makes you successful, it is not just hard work. If that's true, construction workers would be the wealthiest people in the world. Waiters and busboys, they work harder than the owner.
That's it for today's 7 Super Tips show with entrepreneur Tai Lopez. My hope is that his 7 super tips help unlock and unleash your inner superpower. I'm your host, Erik Qualman. A lot of you know me as Equalman. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can join us for next week's episode. And remember, until next time, it's not what we take from the world, it's what we leave behind. The second thing you need to do is, it's getting late, it's hot. I'm sweating, not as much as Mr. Driscoll, but that's a whole other story.